So, okay, so we are. Okay, so I have. Okay, so I have this is my newest build. It is incompleted, and I want to finish it on stream. And I'm also about to reach 500 hours in game, so yay. So, to start, I want to build like a straight rudder, but for that I had to extend the fuselage, or at least this little cockpit part. So I don't know if I want it to be longer or not, but it should be good where it is right now. Okay. So, for the rudder, I want to make it really tall. Not too tall, but taller than everything else. Also, I am using Thales Aviation mod, so that's why I have all of these parts. So if I link it in the workshop ever, then you'll have to get that mod first. But on the stream, we'll be trying to reach 500 hours in game. It's been a while since I first started playing Stormworks, so we're going to be reaching 500 hours today. And then I have a little reference picture. So that's all I'm following off of. Then it has a blue paint job, but we're going to be doing that last. If I spawn it in, you can see that it's not that big. It also has a lot of weight issues, so it'll just tip over. So that's some stuff we'll have to solve. Okay. So I want to solve the weight issues first, except I don't know how to solve them because if I add too much weight, then the plane will sink. So I want to make it just right, but you can see that it's still tilting, and that the entrances, which are on the left side, are not doing so good because they submerge. And then the center of mass is way off from the middle. So this is the middle. And you can see it's tilted. It's really weird. So I'll need to add weight specifically onto this side. I guess that was too much weight. So the engine might be too much weight in the front, and that when it starts rolling, it might just sink it. So the engine might be why, but I'm thinking if I actually start making the coolant functional, then it might add weight to it, which might keep it stable. So yeah. added some weight to the center of it. It doesn't work. I might need to completely rip this from the inside apart. And then cut the sides and bring the floats out. So if I go over to here, bring it down by the tube, bring it to be wider cut, move it 1, 2, okay. So I'm gonna move them 2 blocks outwards. It should solve the weight issue by giving it more surface area to actually, for the water to hit. And it should be more stable, hopefully. It should be good, so I'm gonna attach it, and then I want to work on the engine and get this to a flying, to like a good flying point, because I want this to take off. Except I want it to be very slow. So that's going to be the hardest part, because I have to make it go slow while still being functional. And as a flying plane, that's going to be hard. So my only idea to actually like keep it running and afloat is a 2-cylinder engine. So it's the very bare minimum. So we have the floats attached to the side. It's a lot more stable now. I think it's floating to the back too much now. I can't go in. So the back now is weighing a lot from the coolant. So now I want to complete the engine. And then once I complete the engine, it should have a lot more weight. So the first part of an engine is the first part of the engine, because it's always the part that I forget, is the exhaust. So from the pictures, it looks like it's just a tiny little thing sticking out the side. So I want to recreate that. But I don't know if it's on both sides, and if it is, then I can't do that much because I have to have all the sides for the actual engine, like the coolant, the air, the fuel, the exhaust. So I don't think I'll be able to have it on both sides, but still it's gonna have it on one side, which is good enough. Okay. Have the exhaust. Now I'm gonna put the air. So I want the engine's propeller to be really small, but then again, it's gonna have to go forwards so that the air can fit the air intake, because it has to have a block in front of it. And then I expect this build to automatically need infinite, no engine overheating, because the coolant, unless you have a huge coolant, then it's not going to keep the engine down. So I have to do this. I have to have it, no engine overheating. Okay. So now I should be able to mount an air intake. Include port. And then now the coolant is hooked up. So you have the tiny little air intake at the front. Next, for the fuel, I have 2 tanks, but I only think I'm gonna use one because, well, it only has one thing, and the engine has a low amount of space in it. Gonna have it duplicated on the other side, except not exactly, so it still looks like it, because it would be weird to have it only on one side. And these, whenever they're wired up, it increases drag, meaning the plane would turn right. It would turn like this, a circle, like that. So the fuel, when I make it, I have to have the throttle, which automatically goes to the air, divided by 2, which then goes into the fuel, so that we have more air than fuel. Which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I've been trying to hook it up to the point when there's an error, it shuts off the engine. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. The closest that I could probably do, though, is having an exploding engine. And then the coolant, I want to have like remote, so I'm gonna have the coolant here, but I'm gonna have these pipes lead it all the way to the back, so that I don't have to deal with putting all the pipes, which take up a lot more space. So the pump. So for this, I always like getting it because the coolant is hard, because you don't know where to connect everything. So what I want to do is I want to get this, put it to the side, so that will be where the cold coolant comes in, goes out, goes to there, where it then goes out, comes all the way back into here, which then goes there, which then I just placed that somewhere and I don't know where. Oh, so then that goes into that, which then that gets sent all the way back into that. And now I have to remember that for the wiring. So this is where the air that goes. It goes there. It goes there. Which then goes there. It goes into the coolant. And I have a problem. Oh wait, nope. So it goes there, it travels through there, it goes there, and travels through there and goes here, where it then gets sent back into the tank of the coolant. And then if I use seawater inside of this, then it's going to slowly decrease the engine's efficiency, which is really important, because I'm pretty sure it's going to shut off. I don't know if it's going to be like whenever you have one of the natural disasters, the volcano, then I don't know if it's going to just like completely shut it off, like it's going to start dying, or if it's just going to completely shut off. But yeah. Let's see. So I'm gonna check how much hours. We have 499.3, meaning we've so far gone through 18 minutes, meaning there isn't that long till the 500-hour mark. And then now we have another stability issue. It always tilts this way, I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it's because of this tank though. I might be able to replicate it right here. Yeah, I can. So now, if I turn it all the way to fresh water, the weight should be evened out. And no, that is too much weight in the front, so this weighs 1, and a block weighs 1, meaning as long as I add 2 blocks on each side of there, then if it really matters on the weight, if it's only the weight of the case, then yeah, it's the water inside of it weighs. So if I use weight blocks, which are gonna weigh a lot more, and add them to the sides, then it should add weight to the rear, and no. So each one of those weight blocks should weigh around 10 in the mass, meaning with 40, it doesn't work. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna completely ignore everything except the float, meaning any of the pipes that are decoration. I'm gonna ignore. Okay. So now, once I delete this one, I should be able to extend all of that to fit onto this, which is increasing the surface area again, which should keep the plane stable. I don't know if you should keep the plane stable, but it also is probably going to add to the weight of the plane in the air, because the mod includes lightweight blocks, but I'm not using those, so it could be a lot heavier on one side than another, because I actually am, except I don't realize, because if it's already an existing block in the game, then it's going to have the exact same texture, which makes it confusing on whether it's lightweight or if it's just a normal block. That I also might turn the exhaust into one of these, except I don't know if those angled pipes actually function as pipes because they're stretched out weird. So now I should be able to grab the merge and get it together. And now we have extended floats, which looks really weird, but yeah, I don't think I had to go that far with them. It's still unstable. So if I spawn it like that, is it going to be more stable? So the weight in the back adds weight, and then it already starts tipping, and then that weight starts making it tip more. So if I remove all of that, it should work. Or at least make it not go that far back. Okay. I don't know what is wrong with it. Its center of mass is like really off. I don't know if like one of these sides is exposed and like there's a block missing from it, which then lets all the water in, but it shouldn't be doing that much of an effect because all of this is randomly closed. Gonna experiment with this, which will add more to each side, which in my mind, like all I would have to do is remove the wedges. With the wedges gone, then it'll look like that and a lot more like plain and not really weirdly stretched out. It still goes right. I'm gonna try so it's facing here, it goes there, so then right here I should add some weight. Okay, well, I need more weight. I'm gonna add. Okay, that was completely useless because I had to do it on both sides. So now it should be more stable. Yeah, no. I'm gonna add 2 more to it. And then if that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna remove one. And if that doesn't work, then okay, so it should be able to withstand me going onto the side of it. Can it reset itself? No. So then... The other option is having a certain area to board. So like I could cut that off and cut that off. Then add that to board. It carries one passenger and one pilot, meaning it has to be 8 blocks, which is probably gonna add a lot of weight. 16 blocks versus 3 weight blocks. Who will win? So if I go on to this and stand, I can crack. Okay, so then no. If I add one last weight to it, then it should work. So, the passenger, if you can even get on that, might be able to board. As long as you can get onto here, then you can go in and shut the door. And then the pilot can also get in. So the problems I'm seeing is I'm gonna add some weight there, and I'm gonna make it a block longer. Because I kept on falling into the water. Because I said I kept on falling into the water, and then I did this, so you fall into water. It should still work. Okay. I'm gonna also add a block onto the side, which should do a lot more of an impact to the weight than it being right there. Which it does. And then it doesn't even want to work. Okay. The wingspan is also really short, so that might be a stability issue, but I don't know yet. So I should be able to get onto here. Board it. Cannot board it. Okay, time check. We're halfway there. We are halfway there. We have half an hour left. So I replaced this, and now I want to make it I want to add that block layer, which should make it more effective. Yeah. So if I spawn it in, it tilts pretty far back, but I can go here. You can have both doors open. If you can get onto this platform, you won't fall off and get into here and shut the door. And then I should also be able to do the same on here if I can actually get onto here. Okay. I'm gonna remove one of the weights right here, which I don't know why that just now came into my mind to do that. It's pretty far back. This sinks it. For some reason I can't really get away from it. Okay, reference picture. You can get it from the center, bring it far back, which should make it lower in the water, which adds a lot more to what the water hits, which should get the weight matched. And I have a feeling that somehow one of the weights is getting water in it. And the weights are solid. The floats are solid. So I don't know why it would do that. I just realized that I added weight with the double thing on, meaning it put it on both sides. It does not work. So I can think of one other thing to do. That one other thing is just have the entrance at the top, which would mean redoing the entire roof or solving all the weight, which I would much rather prefer to just add the entrance at the top, which I should be able to do in one of these doors. Okay, I had to delete one of the fuel tanks in order to do it though, meaning if I was ever able to turn that into an emergency fuel tank, then it's gone. So now we have a door at the top. And if I shut that, then it should work. I still have to delete the weights though. I'm gonna delete all the weight that's on these. I'm gonna delete all of the weight, and then it should float up more besides the middle weights. And I forgot, I have a fuel tank here which weighs 3. So now I have to replace one of the sides with weight blocks, and also replace that, grab that, and then $30 weight added to that side. It's just an estimate to replace the fuel tank. And it is unsuccessful. And there's also a tsunami. So now I have to retest this. Currently weighs a lot more than it should. That fuel tank is just like destroying. So it weighs too much with that one over here and too little without it. If I do that, then it will work. Hopefully. It's too much weight. I'm gonna do a time check. 18 minutes left. We've almost reached 500 hours. Oh, wait. I have this, which I would think is adding quite a bit of weight. As long as I can have handles to pull you up onto the top, then I probably don't need that. And it does absolutely nothing. So now it's leading this way, meaning that if I add flotation to this, so if I get one of these, it should prevent the water from getting in and also keep some air into it. Which somehow managed to work almost perfectly. So now it's logic time. So I need some constant numbers. That will be for the divide. That will be for all those. That will be an extra. Then I get this. So now I'm going to get the throttle. I'm gonna hook it up to the number to divide. I'm gonna divide it by 2. Then if I grab this, I can put it into the fuel. And the air will go into the throttle. This constant on number will be 1. And then I highly don't recommend putting the throttle on the clutch because that'll limit the amount of power that actually goes out. So most of the time I hook that up to 1, meaning all the power that it receives goes out. I'll also hook it up to the collective. Now, I'm not gonna put a rudder on this yet. I'm gonna have, okay. This should be lower. Then I can place that, grab it, place that. I need to go ahead and find one last piece. Is it? No. Yep, I found it. And now what? Oh. Now I have to redo it on the other side. Okay. Grab this, put it right there. Place this there, which lets me place this right here in the corner. And the elevator is done. The starter will go right there. And you will go right there. W and S is going to go through a gyro so that the plane can stay stable, because it's like a little passenger plane in game, I think. I'm gonna have it control roll and pitch, but besides that, then I don't want it to control anything else. So the pitch and the roll. If I have infinite electricity on, then yep, I do. Do I have? I can't turn that off. Okay, so it's not fast enough, which is a big, wait, no, it's not a big problem. So now I can add one more cylinder to each side, I think. No. So if I rewire it like this, then it should work. Because I should have some extra space for another cylinder. If I place that right there, I have to check what did I remove. So now we should head back into it. Okay. Now if I place that there, I can bring it and place it right there. So that I can add 2 more cylinders to this, making it a 4-cylinder engine, which is still surprisingly small, and I'll be surprised if it actually ends up flying. I have another problem. I have to hook these up to the engine, to one of these sides, but they're all taken. Which would mean that they would need their own coolant. If I change the way the coolant is placed, then that cylinder will block it off. But if I place it right, no, I don't need that, so I can replace it. I can then break that, grab that, attach it right there, and proceed to grab that, place it right there, then that will go right there. this should, it should attach, and then all the coolant and stuff will transfer to the other cylinder. And I don't know if I'm adding more weight than effectiveness. Hopefully I'm not. And we are sinking. Okay, if I can... Okay, so there's a couple modifications I have to do. I have to turn all of this to max, for one. And then I also have to spawn on top of it to make sure that I don't, like, glitch it out. I absolutely hate the weight in stormworks because it always just doesn't want to do anything. 6 minutes till we reach 500 hours. Can we at least get this thing in the air? Probably not, but hopefully. So I really want the back to have the most weight, so that the front propeller doesn't end up like hitting the water. And then you can take off. And it doesn't go fast enough. I can also mount the plane with a bigger propeller. That's the second largest propeller, or at least that came in the mod pack, which looks a lot more like the picture than, the propellers inside the mod pack look a lot more like the Animal Crossing propeller plane propeller than anything else. I want to be able to lift off. I'm gonna make the floats hollow, because they for some reason aren't. Oh yeah. So currently the floats aren't hollow. So the floats are now hollow, which should make the plane a lot lighter. And then, in my mind, just take off. Throttle to max, close that door. And then, oh wait, I forgot that I don't have a rudder on here. So